Welcome back, everybody, to an episode of Benching and Bullshitting with me, Jimmy Kolb. Like to come on here and just talk bench and just bullshit with everybody. And this is episode 91. We're getting very close to triple digits. Yep. As usual, I'm going live on two different platforms. We've got Instagram over here and YouTube over here. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me here. It's going to be a good night. We usually keep this around an hour. I don't want to take everybody's time too much. But we just talk benching. We bullshit about other things. So got my new setup here. It looks a little better than the office that it was before, with like pink and stuff, because it's Katie's office. We got myself a little space. So hopefully it's looking all right. But what we got? So kind of open floor too. If y'all want to talk, just please ask away. I'm here to answer questions. That's one of the most important things with me. If you're on YouTube, please let me know about a mic check. Let me know that we're good to go. So otherwise, we'll get started to start talking benching and bullshitting. So we got a meet coming up very, very shortly. It's training's going very well. We did have a little bit of a hiccup this past weekend. That is shining bright. Get that out of your guys' way. Got my belt back here just gleaming. All right, Mike's fine, Thomas says, and Tony's on here. What's going on? But meet coming up. Things always seem to get better. There's a competition on the horizon. However, had some trouble the last few weeks. I've been noticing a pattern. Whenever I go really heavy, and if you're on Patreon, you already know this. Joe's on. What's up, Joe? If you're on Patreon, you already know this. I had some issues this weekend. And I've been having issues, but it all kind of came to a head, and I connected the dots this weekend of what was going on. And basically, when I got up to my really, really heavy weights, for instance, this weekend, it was 1430. I took a 1430 bench. I was trying to take it to a half board. And on the way down, I started to flatten out, which makes no goddamn sense because I should probably invest in the company at some point. We use the Marucci baseball bat spray on my back. That's the only spray that I use. Like chalk on the back does nothing. You'll slide. The chalk on the back does absolutely nothing. But putting sticky spray on your back is a game changer. I've been doing it for years now, probably the better half of 5 years. Better part of 5 years. Half of that's 2.5, right? So doing it for a while, and I noticed it first about 5 weeks ago when I went up to my first official free weight 1,500-pound attempt in the gym. And I was bringing the weight down, and I started to flatten out on the way down. Now, it's something you can't really see on video. You have to just feel it. Katie claimed she could see it this weekend because she was holding the half board. And, I flattened out. So we'll get to exactly why that happened here in just a moment. Got a few questions on Instagram. Let's see. Hey, Jimmy, just wanted to thank you and Denise for your hospitality a few weeks ago down at 814 for all the help. It really was an amazing experience to see you train in person. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to come back. You got to come back sometime. I was happy to have you. Of course, it was a good time. Happy to have you. To all those watching, Jimmy, you are truest, as nice and genuine in person as you see online. Keep benching. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's see. John Rupo was on here. He says, differences between the original F8 and the new 2.0. Is the pressure any different? I know you took some huge benches in the 2.0, and it seems like it's not messing you up as bad. I don't want to say the pressure might actually be worse, honestly, like right now with the 2.0 because of just the size of the 2.0 that I'm using, which I actually have on the floor down here next to me. I don't have a lot of space. I might be able to back up a little bit. The difference is, so we actually have a YouTube video coming out on Friday. So if y'all are aware, we started a F8 Customs YouTube channel about 2 weeks ago. There's 2 videos up right now. So we're trying to do about a video a week. And to this week's topic is actually the differences between the 2.0 and the original. So that video will come out. It's really detailed. There's a lot to it. The construction is different. And the groove I'm not going to say it's a one-speed groove, like you have one path. I will say, for you poly benchers out there, the 2.0 will absolutely help you maintain your poly technique. Whereas the original, you could kind of, like Rob, he benches out flared and wide, and he does just fine, very fine actually. I go low and tucked, so it kind of works for both. I've had a myriad of problems trying to keep the shirt off my elbows. Rob has to shorten all my shirts like 3-4 inches. I feel so bad when I ask him to do that because it's a process. But so it's most of the construction and how the sleeve, like where the sleeve is connected to the chest, in terms of like what layer of the sleeve, like which row of wrap is connected to the chest of the shirt. And Toby Hurley said, I could definitely see you flattening out in your video. He's on Patreon. Oh, what's up, Juan? Good to have you on here. Miss you too. So back to, I was flattening out this weekend, and like Toby Hurley said, you could see it in the video, because Katie said you were bringing the weight down to the half board, and the bar stopped, but you were moving away from the bar. I was flattening out. What actually happened, I got up off the bench, and I'm like, do I need to call my friends and say, hey, don't come to the meet? I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not ready. I'm sucking dick and training. Like, what? No. We diagnosed it. We found out what the problem was. The vinyl non-slip covering on the pad itself was deforming. I can sit on the pad and take my hands and push and then create waves, like actually like deform the covering. The covering's been stretched from months and months, arguably even a couple of years of use, depending on how old the pad is, and constantly driving into the pad with lower body engagement, back pressure, if you want to call it that. So, yes, because I sprayed for that big lift, I sprayed the pad and my back with Marucci, and I was still flattening out, which sucks. So we ended up, so I'm stuck to the pad, but what I am stuck to is physically moving and stretching. So no matter how sticky I'm basically glued to the bench with that Marucci spray, and I'm still sliding because the pad is just stretching. The vinyl is stretching. So I unbolted the bench. Everybody left. They went home, and we stuck around to do some work, both Sunday and Monday. And I took the pad off, made a whole video about it. It's on Patreon. Watch me do it. And, cut the vinyl, pulled it tight, and Katie stapled it. I pulled this side tight. She stapled it. I pulled the head tight, stapled it. So then I laid back down on it once I got it bolted back to the bench. Holy shit. It felt like I was laying on a slab of concrete. Like hardened concrete, not the wet stuff. So, yeah, there should be a pretty damn stark contrast difference between how I performed this weekend, which wasn't that good, and then this coming weekend. I think it's going to be quite a difference. I feel like it's going to be quite spectacular. So that's what happened this weekend. Nothing cool. I even put it in Patreon. I said, nothing bad bench workout. Nothing happened, but easy fix. Diagnosed it, easy fix. I mentioned Patreon a couple of times. Hey, I've been on there for about 5 years. I've had over 100 members in there for a while. Very graciously that people want to see what I do and hear what I do. And all my videos, all my training is all on Patreon. Every set, every rep that I do in the gym with commentary over top of it, explaining why I'm doing something. I experienced this. I didn't like this. I like this. Hey, I got this on my fucking brain. It's all on Patreon, $10 a month to watch what I'm doing. Currently training for the 1,500 pound or 3/4 of a U.S. ton bench press. So hope that interests some of you. If not, no offense taken. But it's an exciting time. This is the biggest lift of my life so far, and it's a good time to hop on there. The back training, the secondary bench, the tricep work, the warm-up sets going into the big bench, what I do beforehand. If you go on any trips, like to go into shows and stuff, we try and document all of that as well. Of course, going to meets, the prep for the meet, going to the meet, weighing in, all that stuff, going out to eat the night before. I'll put it all on Patreon. So anyway, I'm doing that for 5 years, and I've really enjoyed it. Toby Hurley says, very worth it too. Very informative and easy way to help and give back to an awesome dude. Well, thank you. Toby's been a member of my Patreon for probably, what's it been, Toby? About almost all 5 years, or is it just a handful of years? I think I started it in 2019 or 2020. I've had people in there like all 5 years, which is incredible. So, but yeah, that's a good thing. I'm really happy about it. We're gonna move forward, and I got like five training weeks left, and then it's game time. So I'm gonna get back on the platform. Got back on the platform at the Arnold, which is where we won. Finally, I got my third or fourth title, and yeah, got back on the platform. I did the Arnold in 2024. Then I didn't compete again to the Arnold 2025. Yeah, so I got something in my eye, by the way. I'm sorry, but Toby said pretty close to 5 in before. Yep. Long-time supporter, good dude, Toby Hurley. Squats and multiply, how a multiply squat is supposed to look. You guys want to see a proper multiply squat? Watch Toby Hurley, and you'll see. That's what a multiply squat's supposed to look like. Let's see. So we got Thomas on YouTube, Tony, my brother Joe, Iron Hippo, and Tony says, I'm still searching for a couple guys to train with. I've been there, man. I've been there. That's rough. Yes, I understand. I've been in that position before. It's not fun. Just be consistent. Somebody will come along. I promise. You're welcome, Toby. Absolutely. He says, I'm still trying to find a couple guys to train bench with. Nobody seems to do equipped bench. Yes. Also hard because in Virginia where we were, like equipped is not popular at all. It's basically ran by the USAPL, USPA, at least when the USPA was still a thing. And yeah, doing equipped was hard, but we found good people. Dean, Owen, Chris, Joe, the gym owner, Zach, Andrew, Juan, Cam, Taylor. We had a crew of like 12, 13 people at one point. A lot of people. Paul. Yeah, just so many good people that all came together with a similar interest. It took a long time, though. It took a very long time to get everybody together. But it will happen with time. It sucks that idle time of like not having training partners is not fun. AZ says, what exercise can benefit forearms for benching? I do all exercise. Like I'll tell you what to do. Look at what the arm wrestlers do, and that's what you should do. Arm wrestlers have the best lower arm development on the entire planet. So all of my forearm training, which is 1 day per week, but one of my 5 workouts per week is actually forearm day. So I'm highly inspired by the arm wrestlers. So that's what you should do. A lot of pronation, wrist curl, wrist extension, humeral deviation, ulnar deviation. Grip work is okay. I don't do a lot of grip work. Yeah, all that stuff. Look at what the arm wrestlers do. You'll get some inspiration there. Let's see. My bench is getting better, and I'm stronger now than in my late 20s. 54 and gaining, Tony says. Hell yeah, man. I want to be alive at 54, let alone still lifting weights. That's awesome. So, but yeah, hey, honestly, like I said, the floor is open if anybody wants to ask questions. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, we'll keep just burning my mouth and talking about some stuff. And speaking of talking about some stuff, I got some product right here behind me from Legion. And I got some product right here beside me of my favorite current products. Company called Legion, of course. I've talked about them before. And pre-workouts I've never been really big on, especially given like a lot of pre-workouts on the market have artificial colors, artificial flavors, tons and tons and tons of caffeine, which, by the way, if you powerlifters, big benchers, big squatters, whatever, excessive caffeine can actually weaken your bones. True story. Look that shit up. Excessive. We're talking lots of caffeine per day can pull calcium out of your bones, make them weaker. So when I order pre-workout from Legion, I always get the stim-free. Okay, I get stim-free Pulse because I do not want excessive caffeine. I just want clean energy from other sources. That's why I choose the stim-free pulse. If you want that buzz and that caffeine rush, which I don't actually get. I think I'm immune to caffeine. I don't know why I drink it that often. I don't get a buzz or anything. They do have a normal, caffeinated pulse option. Logan says, have you ever tried the Everstrong shirt? No, I have not. Brandon says, is using a sticky spray on your back allowed in competition? Yes, it is. Depends on the federation, of course. I can't speak for every federation, but feds such as like IPA, pretty sure USPC don't mind, APF doesn't mind, is absolutely legal. At what point did you find it was necessary to start using it? Pretty early, once I got into the thousands, very, very quickly, like chalk, it doesn't do shit. Chalk does not do a damn thing. You need sticky spray. I used chalk from the start of my career till I was 23 or 24. I didn't know any better. And I got into the thousands when I was still an active duty Marine. I needed something else in my life, so I picked the weights back up, started lifting weights, and discovered sticky spray. And haven't gone back. It's been 5 years. So, yes, it is legal in federations that I lift in. Now, RPS does not allow you to use chalk or sticky spray on your back on the bench. USAPL, IPF, all those gross federations, they don't want you to use any of that stuff because they want you to be as limited as possible. But where I compete, it's legal. Let's see here. On YouTube, David says, when's your next meet? I'm going to Nittany Barbell. Nittany Barbell on June 7th is my next meet. And we got Logan. What do you think you should be able to bench in a 2-ply F8 before moving into a 3-ply? That's kind of individual basis. I guess you should make that determination. My heaviest bench in a 2-ply by itself, no insert whatsoever, because it wasn't allowed in the competition, was 1140 at the WPO Bench Bash for Cash in 2022. Yes, it was 2022. Down in Boca Raton, Florida. They allowed band shirts at the WPO Bench Bash for Cash, but you were limited to only 2-ply. 2-ply with no insert, just 2-ply. Then I benched 1140. I tried like 1185 twice, couldn't get it. They had a really, really short fucking bench. It was like 14 inches from the ground. It's fucking ridiculous. So that's kind of, I've handled, and then in the new 2.0 right up here above me, this is a 2-ply up here. You guys can't see it on YouTube. I got one on the shelf. I've hit 1205 off of a one board and just the 2-ply by itself. So individual preference. If you want to bench in a 2 and go as far as you can, everything's relative. If it's 800 for you or 900 for you or 1,000, or if it's less, you can jump to a 3. It's all individual basis, man. Also, is that next week going to be when you hit the 1,500? I'm going to Nittany Barbell meet just to get myself back on the platform consistently and have a good day. That's why I'm going there. I'm going to try and go there and have a successful day. That's what I want. I want success. Yes. Let's see. Tony says, creatine is great for pre-workout. Great pump and definitely better gains. Well, oftentimes what I do is I stack my supplements. So I have my pulse, of course, my non-stim pulse. And I also stack that, which is really cool, with creatine supplement from Legion as well. This is actually a fruit punch creatine. It's flavored creatine. So I'll stack these two together as a pre-workout combo. So I got pulse, non-stim, and creatine together. Tastes amazing. One of the things that drew me to Legion when they reached out to me is the fact that they don't have any artificial flavors or colors. They don't use any dye in their product. Their products are colored with fruits and vegetables. They don't use red 40 or blue 1. Oh, blue 1 or yellow 5, all that garbage. And I always say this every live. I like to say this. I understand big supplement companies. I get it. The people that make C4 and the people that make all the stuff at Walmart. I understand. If your product is blue raspberry, I understand the concept behind, Well, the flavor is blue raspberry, so we need to make the drink blue in color to match. I get it. I understand. But that shit is not supposed to go in your body. It just isn't. So, so Legion, all natural flavors, all natural colors, nothing artificial, very clean products, which I like. I'm very picky when it comes to supplements. So when Legion reached out to me, I went ahead and jumped on it. Been sponsored with them for about 4 months. Very, very happy with that. I do have a code, of course, with Legion Athletics, that is. It's just Kolbstrong, just like my Instagram handle right here. If you go to Legion and want to try any of these products that I've been talking about or the 30-plus products they have, if you use code Kolbstrong at checkout, it gets you 20% off your entire order. That's your first order, just your first order. If you're a returning customer, it gets you double points. But Kolbstrong at Legion gets you 20% off your first order. Another good product that I really like, speaking on creatine, because that's a really big staple in my supplement diet, is the creatine gummies. Oh, shit. This particular one's the first one I ever tried. This lemon drop. Those are really good. They have 2 new flavors that are both sour. They have like a sour coating on them. One is sour watermelon. It tastes very, very similar to the Sour Patch Kids watermelon wedges. They're really good. Not my favorite so far. I would like to try the sour blue raspberry. It would probably be like my end-all, be-all, go-to for sure. So that's Legion. I also use Lunar, which is on the shelf behind me here. It's a sleep aid. It's chewable tablets that are mixed berry. Very, very good. There you go. What we got here? We got some comments. Let's see. Good luck at your next meet in June. Your Patreon video bench 1,500 straight. Did you fully lock that out yourself, or did the crew have to pull it off you? So I locked it out as I was going into the rack. So that's what they told me afterwards. They said we had to just like pull you into the hooks. They didn't have to like finish the lift for me, then pull it. So as I was locking out, I was losing it because I was pulling an oh shit moment. And I kept going further and further back towards my head out of desperation. So I locked it out as I was losing the weight into the rack. First time going straight weight. I'm surprised it moved that well. As I mentioned before, that was the first time I noticed the flattening out problem that I alluded to earlier in the podcast here, talking about how the vinyl covering on the bench was actually stretching. So we fixed that problem. I restapled it, pulled it all nice and tight, should be fixed. But that was the first time I noticed that I was flattening out, was under that 1,500 pounds. Oh, let's see. Thomas says, my experience is ask different people to spot hand off occasionally, even with blocks and or bench piece. That way you can filter out supportive people and easier to invite them to join. Part 2. Follow to join a bench session together sometime and see if they like working with blocks close equal to their raw PR and or a piece, just to feel how it is. Everyone likes bench in gym, basically. Yeah, benches. There's a whole international bench day. Isn't it Mondays or something? I don't know. Yeah, there's not an international deadlift day to my knowledge, right? So there's an international bench day. Fuck, man. Got goddamn hair in my mouth. Cool. But yeah, things have been going really well. We're on track. It's hard to have so many good sessions in a row, and then you have a shit one like I had this weekend. But it really, really helps when you can diagnose and identify what the problem was. If I just missed that weight and had not a clue why, that would have sucked. That would not have been fun. So really glad that we figured it out and diagnosed it and got it figured out. So this coming weekend, I'm really excited for, because when I laid on the pad after I fixed it, bolted it back down, laid there, and I scooted myself up the pad, I was like, whoa, oh my God, what a difference. So I think that's going to be night and day. I am excited for this coming weekend. He says, I feel like it's a universal fact that all meatheads squat on Friday. Okay. Maybe that's so like if your legs are completely fucking shot, because I guess squatting is like really, really hard. And I know that from experience, by being a smartass, and you have the entire weekend to recover. Because maybe you had to squat and then go to work the next day with like shot legs. That would kind of suck, right? Let's see. Eric on YouTube says, "Hey Jimmy, good to see you again. I know you don't like bands, but is that? Hang on. I know you don't like bands, but is what works for you, or you just don't like in general?" It's kind of both. I don't like bands. I'll put that back up so I can read it. I don't like bands, period. I don't like bands either way. They never did shit for me. I never got any benefit from doing band work. And a lot of times bands are associated with like speed work. And I think speed work is just, in my opinion, is the most useless shit on the face of the fucking planet in powerlifting terms. Well, I think maybe like SBD days, 9 days a week are also pretty worthless. But on my side of the sport with like conjugate, west side barbell, speed work to me is just absolutely fucking worthless. I hate speed work. I tried speed work once, like to a T. It was actually a month or two before my first 1,000-pound bench. I was like, maybe that's what's missing. Maybe after all these years, at that point it had been how many years? 18, 17 years lifting weights. Maybe that's what's missing. Maybe that is the key that I'm not doing that's preventing me from getting the next lift. And I decided to go ahead and do it. I followed Louis' 3-week pendulum wave, different bars, percentages to a fucking T. And I hurt so bad. I did it for 4 weeks. My max bench started to go down. I said, fuck this shit. Never went back. Abandoned the speed work. My bench went back up. And I benched my first 1,000 pounds at York back in 2020 while being active duty Marine Corps. So speed work can suck. A fat one. Sorry. Went down a bit of a rabbit hole there. Paula says, Jimmy, what do you think of the new Everstrong F8 shirt? I don't know anything about it. Thomas says, oops, I always squat on Mondays because everyone likes to skip leg days and squats on Mondays. Haha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't squat, so I guess I can't relate to you guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Tony says, I did a very hard leg day. I was driving a stick shift truck then, pushing the clutch all the way home. Sucked lemons. Yeah. Yeah, that would suck having to, left clutch, gas pedal, brake pedal. Fuck that. Kenny motherfucking Sellers. What's up, bro? Not too much. Give Katie a squeeze for me. I will. She'll be glad to hear that you were on here. Good to see you, Kenny. Sucks that we're so far away now, but it's not goodbye. It's we'll see you next time. We'll see you soon. Let's see. STBN says, hi, Jimmy. How does the learning on the F8 bar compare to a Texas bar? What particularly are you talking about? F8 deadlift bar to Texas bar? Are you talking about F8 bench bar to Texas bench bar? I need a little more clarification so I can get it right. Tony says, I did speed work just as a variation day to get past the plateau. That's fine. That's just my experience. If it works for you, don't listen to me. But I don't program speed work. When I've worked with athletes, I never program speed work. If they do speed work, I'm like, hey, I train differently. I think we're going to have to abandon. If you're coming to me, that means you trust my opinion, what we should do. And I say, you're going to have to not do speed work for a little while working with me. And some people get some success out of it. Some don't. But I think speed work just sucks. Let's see. Oh, he says bench bar sharpness comparison. The Texas bars always have fairly sharp, aggressive knurling. The platinum bars that we have on the F8 website, if you go with a platinum bar, they're a little more sharp. I'd say they're pretty comparable to like Texas bars sharpness level. If you go with a Magnum bar, the Magnum bars have a less aggressive knurling that's a little more easy on the hands. On top of that, I do believe I'd have to check the website. I think the Magnum, God, I don't want to get it wrong. Don't quote me because I might be wrong. I think the Magnum and the Platinum bench bars are both 32 millimeter in diameter, which is thicker than 30, right? So obviously. So it's even easier on the hands because the bar is bigger. Now the Kolbstrong bar, the Kolb bar, which will come out on the market eventually, is 35 millimeter and has very, very, very non-aggressive knurling, where there's not points like this. The tips of the knurling actually are flat. So it's like volcano style knurling. So it doesn't eat up your hands and actually has more surface area. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of really sharp bars. I don't like them. I've actually had them poke holes in my palms before. So, no, I do not like that. Eric says, do you think leg drive on a bench is overrated? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not a good person to ask. I use leg drive. I've been using leg drive my entire career, benching and competing. Nope, I think it's absolutely necessary. I teach it. I coach it. I do seminars. I talk all about it, speed work, and how to coach, how to do it. I have a drill. No, leg drive, in my opinion, is absolutely necessary. Underrated, if anything. I think it should be even more utilized. So, no, it's a full body lift, man. When you're trying to bench as much weight as possible, it is a full body lift. No, underrated, not overrated. Let's see. Mike Wilhelm is on here. He says, took your advice after taking last week and moved my hand position out to max legal distance. Took 715 for 5 to a 3-board comfortable, and I have no forearm discharge and feel it in my palms finally. Oh, Cole. Oh, Cole, what's up, man? You did 715 for 5? It says Mike. I saw the last name, and I'm like, I got to ask this guy if he's related to Cole. Cool. Yeah, 715 for 5. No shit, man. You have no forearm pain at all? Good, dude. That is fucking great. I'm glad to hear that. That was some good shit. 100%, man. That is awesome. That was really – Cole's a good friend of mine. Started coming to Louisville, lifting at Gym Therapy. It's a really nice gym in Louisville, Ohio, owned by a really good friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, Shane Klein and Kelly Klein. And, yeah, he's been getting in some equipment. 715 for 5. Dude, that was fantastic. Good shit. Awesome, man. Anna's on here. She says, what's up? And I said, what's up back? How you guys doing? I saw Joe on here earlier, too. Good to have you on here. My sister-in-law. Cool. Let's see what we got here. STBN says, what are some of your favorite max effort upper variations? I don't do a hell of a lot of those. I do a lot of equipped bench, a full max legal grip. I have a secondary bench day. It's mostly a chest. That's more of a bodybuilding chest day right now. So I'm doing a lot of incline dumbbell work, flat dumbbell work, decline dumbbell work, incline barbell, a lot of dip machine, a lot of isolation movements like with cables and machines and stuff like that. So reverse grip bench is probably like my top tier, most favorite movement ever devised ever in the history of the sport. Yeah. Hope that wasn't too arbitrary. But, nope. So I also have another favorite piece of mine that I use in training quite a bit is, of course, the F8 Widowmaker. Cool. I have several of them that are up here on the shelf, different sizes, different strengths. I prefer, of course, the all-black Widowmaker. This particular one, if I'm correct, is a medium. If I don't look at it, is a medium right there. There's the M. Cool. I can use as small of a Widowmaker as a medium, right? I can use a medium Widowmaker, single loop, single ply, at a body weight of 325. I'm 5'5" as well, if that matters. But yep, I've been using this particular one for quite a few years. It's got some use in it. It's got some lines going in it, and it's got some highway miles on it. But that's absolutely been a pinnacle training tool I've been using for a lot of years. Wanted to have one nearby just to showcase. They're available at f8customs.com. Oh, I see. Okay, that's your middle name. I understand. With that being said, would you recommend going? Oh, I said your actual name out loud. I apologize. I don't know if that was a secret or not. Let's see. He said, would you recommend going down to a 2-board next week or work the 3-board? And appreciate a very humble and kind man. No. I think you conquered that weight. You did it for 5 reps. You conquered it off a 3-board. You don't need to stick with that 3-board. I wouldn't go up in weight just yet. Just keep working those high 6s, those low 7s. Do a 2-board work the next week. So you conquered it. You did 715 for 5 reps from the 3-board. That's awesome. So next week, do all your work, do all your sets on a 2-board, and conquer on a 2-board. Try to maybe triple it. Or if you feel kind of good, take 10 more pounds, go 725 and do a single or a double, something like that. And then maybe, if your CNS isn't shot the next week, work down to a 1-board. Still working those, low high 6s, low 7s. So we got to be bone conscious. We've talked about this, tons of times. No, you're fine. Go down and board. You're totally fine. Ludwig, YouTube, he says, on open powerlifting, you're number 1 for single ply and unlimited. Would you consider going back and getting the multiply record to hold all 3 at once? Or would you prefer to hit reverse grip bench press 1,000 pounds in competition? Well, kind of both, I guess. I've humored the idea. I've hinted at the idea that I wanted to compete with my reverse grip at some point in my life. Just like Anthony Clark did. He competed with his reverse grip. For me right now, it's just a training tool. It's a training method. It's a variation that I use to build everything else. I've humored the idea, too, of wanting to get back into single ply, particularly. And now that we have the new F8 Customs poly equipment, that's really awesome. I would like to get back into poly, single ply, because that's kind of I prefer single ply. I'm not huge on multiply poly. It's such a pain in the ass. My guys at F8 can really make it work. My buddy Chris down south can make it work. Almost all my friends can make it work. I just hate it. It's just, I like single ply. So yeah, that 1120 single ply is one of my personally one of my greatest accomplishments in my heart and my mind. That 1120 was special. That was special, not just because of what it was. Single ply poly closed back, the most in the equipped world, the most simple piece of equipment that you can wear. So hitting that when I did was very special. The training I did to get there was a motherfucker. And at the time, being that the heaviest bench ever done, period, because the band shirts were now a thing, was 1110 by a fellow bencher named Will. Beating all the band shirt stuff in a single layered poly, that's not going to happen now. Like, it's whether I'm on top or somebody else is on top, right now at 1401, I'm not going to hit 1400 in a band in a single ply. It's not going to happen. So doing it when I did it was also very special to me, so that achieving the heaviest bench ever done with the least amount of equipment at that was very, I'm very, very, very gracious that I was able to do that, and the family that I still have, even though we're not down there anymore in Unleashed Strength in Virginia, is how I got there. One of our favorite pictures we've ever taken was right after I benched 1120. All of us were in the warm-up room. We were all wearing our gray Kolbstrong shirts that had the KSP logo down here and bench crew on the back. It was gray with black ink. And there was like 20 people in this picture. And all 20 people in that picture all has something to do with getting us to this 1120. So that's one of our favorite pictures we've ever taken. Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. I went down a rabbit hole. I do that a lot. OSU on Instagram says, I handed off last year to Tyler Butcher at a meet in West Virginia. Yeah, Yeah, I did that same meet the year prior. That's where I hit my 1350. Yeah, he was using a medium F8 single ply shirt. Amazing how you guys can use mediums at your width. Yeah. Oh, yeah, medium to medium. Yeah, that's kind of cool you said that. Yeah. Especially in something like a band shirt or a Widowmaker, because the material just stretches. Because poly doesn't stretch. Even the stretchiest poly doesn't want to stretch. I can take a pair of wraps, even really, 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 really stiff ones. I can still make it move. I can't take a single ply polyester and actually physically make it move. It doesn't work like that. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Tyler, man, what a massive fucking human being. Tyler Butcher, what a man. What a manimal. Huge man. Jesus Christ. I want to be that big someday. I want to be as big as Tyler Butcher. Barracuda. Oh, Barracuda Bart. I saw that lift in person. It was awesome. Good. I'm glad you were there. Abshak said a good rabbit hole. Glad to hear about your poly stuff. Thank you. Single ply is near and dear to me, guys. In my mind, single ply, actually, it wasn't my mind to begin with. It was Ken Anderson told me when I was 18 or 19. He said, if you wear single ply correctly, you can beat everything multiply. That's true to this day so far. Now we're talking poly. Obviously, the band shirts are different. But yeah, single ply, if you wear single ply correctly, you can beat everything multiply. Let's see. Baked and Excellent says, love the 2.0. Took 815 on Sunday, got down to a 2 board. No shit. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, it's the 2.0. Hell yeah. I got it. Got mine sitting right here, actually. I'm going to take all the layers out of it so I can have just the shirt by itself. This is my 2.0. This is my 2-ply. This has a 10-inch chest right here. It's kind of big. You can't see it on Instagram too well. This is my 2-ply, and this is my baby. This is the one that's working right now, and it complements my poly bench technique perfectly. So, yeah, this is it. You can see how it's getting kind of dirty. Got the wedge right here. That's the 2.0. There's no special collar on it or anything. It's just the stock collar, stock neck. Yeah, this is something really special. I'm really happy that Rob came out with something new. The OG, I will never knock the OG design. I did a lot of good work in the OG. We got our history's first 12, 13 to 1,400 pound bench. And the same OG, the same 4-ply 4-year-old shirt that I've been using all 4 years. So, but the 2.0 is awesome. Highly recommend this, especially if you're a shorter limbed lifter. If you have shorter arms like me, this shirt is excellent. So I can put it on. I'll do my right arm. So I'm not even having any help. Now, this is a little bit big on me without the other layers in it. However, very easily, I can get into it, and my elbow is completely showing. Here it is, just tip of my elbow right here. So just sitting here like this, I can put this shirt on, have it be completely legal. Very, very easy. And when I do this, the shirt's going to sit low automatically. You can put it on, and you don't even have to try to pull it down or whatever. It just sits low automatically. These are excellent pieces. I love the 2.0. I'm so happy that I was able to commit to something new because I'm a creature of habit, you see, and I don't want to change what's been working for so long. I didn't want to use a different design. It took about 2 workouts for me because it's F8 to F8, right? Band shirt to band shirt. It's Rob Farrell to Rob Farrell, apples to apples. However, these are sewn together differently than the original. It's a different design. So I had to know that, had to remember that. So it took me about 2 sessions to kind of get it down, get the groove down. Once I did, clicked, oh fuck. Really happy that I switched to my 2.0. My personal experience with it so far has been great. All that training is on Patreon, of course. I talk about that quite a bit. So if you want to see what we're doing on there, doing an F8 Pharrell barbell, 814 barbell, and a shirt, all that training is on Patreon, which is $10 a month. Now, Big Red, what's up, man? Good to have you on here. We're just benching and bullshitting. And Baked and Excellent says, fucking tight, holy shit. That's why I got Rob to send me one. I have a poly groove. Perfect. There's testament right there. Let's see. Tony on YouTube says, I have long arms and short muscle bellies with the triceps. What's the best form for this kind of situation, if I may ask? Long arms, I mean, the muscle belly thing, I can't really attest to that or give you any advice. But if you have long arms, if you're trying to bench, you got to go as wide as you possibly can. Okay? And I would suggest if you're going as wide as you possibly can, which in the legal sense is trigger fingers on the rings, you can't go any wider than that. That can put undue pressure on the shoulder capsule. You want to make sure if you're not equipped already, highly recommend being equipped. That's going to help protect those shoulders from that really wide grip. Going really wide raw can cause some problems. Eric says, thoughts on old school guys like Ted Arcidi, Ken Lane, Anthony Clark, etc. Well, Anthony Clark, right away, that name sticks out. Oh, man. Anthony Clark, I wish I had been in the era where I could have met Anthony Clark. I think he died too soon. That's really sad. Reverse grip bench, God, himself. And I think that's just one of my early inspirations, I would say. Absolutely. Little known fact, though, in case anybody's wondering, he is not the first person to bench 800 pounds. No, he is not. That title belongs to Ryan Kennelly. Anthony Clark attempted 800 pounds, as did the Big Evil. What the fuck was his name? His rival at the time in the 90s, the Big Evil, Elvis impersonator. I never remember his damn name. Son of a bitch. Like, he would do 720, Clark would do 725, then he would do 730. Help me out, guys. Damn it, it's right there. What the hell is his name? The Big Evil. God damn it, son of a bitch. I've met him several times, actually. They both, if it pops up, I'll shout you out. But I've met him, and Jamie Harris. Damn it! Thank you, Thomas. Always with the knowledge. Jamie Harris. I never can retain that damn name. Jamie Harris and Clark were going back and forth in the 90s, back and forth. They both arguably benched 8. They attempted 8. Clark's bench was overturned because it was no good. Jamie Harris, the story I was told was he benched 8, got 2 whites and a red, good lift. He said, fuck that. He went over to the 2 white lights and switched them back to red himself, failed the lift. He wanted 3 whites or nothing, so no one would ever question it. So neither one was credited with 800 pounds. Ryan Kennelly, the bench monster Ryan Kennelly, is the first man to bench 800 pounds. Officially on the books, it was Ryan. Ken Lane, don't know much about Ken. Maybe I should. Ted Arcidi, pioneer. Just like Doug Hepburn, first man to bench 4 and 5. Pat Casey, first human to bench 6. Ted Arcidi, first human to bench 7. Like 701 or 703 or something like that. At the Hawaii Record Breakers. What can you say? He's a pioneer, you know? And I am so humbled. Hold it together. I am so humbled that I could be I'm humbled that I could be part of that history as being one of the being one of the pioneers types. Ryan Kennelly benched 8, first time in human history in like 2002, and then Gene Richlock came around in 2004, did 900, then 1,000 with 1,005, 1,010. Tiny Meeker benched 11, first 500 kilo bench, 1,102 pounds, and to be able to be part of that pioneering process is very, very humbling. I am very, very happy to be a part of that. Very happy. Let's see. Thomas says, we got power bars in my gym finally. They seem to be solid too. 29 millimeter. Okay, that's pretty damn good. Yeah, hell yeah. 230K PSI. Sharp and early, no bend with 550 on deadlift. Promises something for my equip bench. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. You're having problems with that before, I heard. Hey, Keems Goat says, thoughts on overhead press for raw or equipped bench carryover can be push or strict. I don't do anything overhead ever, and my bench has gone up over the years. I don't think it has. Now, there are people that would argue with me up and down the street that overhead press is very, very important, has high carryover. I personally think it doesn't. If you want to do overhead press for the sake of building an overhead press, then absolutely do it. If you're trying to build a big bench, there are things, in my opinion, that you can be doing that are way better, way more effective than doing overhead press. That is just an opinion, though. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me get some hydration here. Oh boy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so anyway, Christ, what else do we got going on here? This is the last day, I'm pretty sure. If you have time in the next, if you're depending what part of the country you're in, if you're on the East Coast, you got about 3 hours. If you're on the West Coast, you got 5 or 6. But we do have Kolbstrong Scholarship. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that helps young lifters. We raise money through donation, through events. Right now we have an event going on called AMRAP April. And it's all on the Kolbstrong Scholarship website and the Instagram page as well. You can rep as a male. You can do either amateur or pro. You can rep in the bench 225 or 315 for reps. If you're a female, you can go 135 or 185 for reps. And it's like a $10 entry fee or something like that. And it's just a charity fundraiser is all it is. And what we do is we raise money in $1,000 increments. At the end of the year, we get all our money collected together. If we have $5,000 collected, then we sponsor 5 young lifters. That's lifters in the age from 13 to 23. According to Powerlifting, it's the teenage to junior division. So that's what we do. And right now we have the Kolbstrong Scholarship. This is the last day for AMRAP April. I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So if you have time tonight, if you're on the East Coast, to get one last bench session in to rep some weight and donate to the kids. If you're on the West Coast, you got a few more hours. But this is the last day for it, and then we're going to get all the money collected together. And I think the winners in each division get like 5% of the total amount that we collect, kind of as a kickback and a thank you. And that goes, of course, to the 501c3 nonprofit organization, the Kolbstrong Scholarship. Let's see what we got here. There's 30 days in April. Oh, shit. Okay, we got one more day. Wednesday. Thank you, April. Thank you, Anna. Cool. Okay. My mistake. I had the banner pulled up and not the comment section. I probably could have saved my breath and sounded smarter. So tomorrow is the last day. So if you have anything, you don't got anything going on, if it doesn't fuck up your schedule, if you want to donate to the scholarship, we have one last day. We got tonight and tomorrow. Thank you, Anna. And you can rep, like I said, if you're a female, you can choose to do 135 or 185. Men, 2 plates or 3 plates. And just do as many reps as you can. If you bench it reverse grip, you get 2 free reps added to your total. Because reverse grip is like, one of our cool things. So if you bench reverse grip, you get 2 free reps. And that would really help these young kids. Like I said, we raise $1,000 increments. First year we sponsored 3. Our second year we sponsored 12. We raised $12,000 that year. Third year we raised 4. This is our 4th year, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure where we're at right now. I think we're in the low couple thousand or more. And we have kids apply all the month of January through the Kolbstrong Scholarship website. And they go through the process. They do everything that I ask them to do. And then we pick however many we can pick. Usually we have like 50 to 70 entries, And it hurts me because I have to then whittle it down to 2, 3, or 4 or 5 kids out of like 50, 60, or 70. And it sucks because like all of them have a story to tell. And it's very touching. And, just spilling their guts, talking about their lives, talking about what's going on and how much the money would mean to them. And it's like, I can't pick everyone. I wish I could raise 70 grand so we could help 70 of these kids, but we just can't do it. And they can get this $1,000. It's for anything powerlifting related, or honestly, it's their money. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. It's meant for paying your gym dues, buying new gear, traveling to meets, paying for hotels, paying for your whatever, gym membership, anything. Blowing on a PS5 or what fucking number are they on now? 7, 6, 8? PS, well, Xbox 700. I don't know what the fuck, how far they are now, but anyway, that's the Kolbstrong Scholarship, everybody. Thomas says, I'll be sending you a video tonight of my 495 F8 Widowmaker full touch. Awesome. Best so far. Would love to get some feedback on that one. Just send it over on Instagram, dude. I'll take a look at it. Absolutely. That'd be really cool. Thomas from across the pond, putting up some big numbers. He has been for a while. That's really good to hear. Well, I'm at about the end, everybody. I've talked about Patreon quite a bit. What is that? What does that mean there, Jason? What is that? Series X. I don't understand. Maybe my brother said Xbox 700. You are old. I don't know where it's at. I still think the Xbox One is like the most current one. Is it not? Or am I behind? Xbox One, right? That's like that's the one that was on the South Park episode during the what was the Game of Thrones trilogy. Pretty sure they were all fighting if it was going to be a PS4 or Xbox One. Oh, I see. Joe, my brother said it's Series X and S. But then Jason said Series Sex, S-E-X. Which, I don't know. Oh, I got it. Xbox Series X is current. I must have been confused. I understand. Thank you both. Okay, thank you both for doing that. That's going to be about it for tonight, guys. I talked about Legion, the current supplement company I am with. If you use code Kolbstrong at the checkout, you get 20% off your order. No, it's not, Anna. 20% off your order at Legion Athletics. You can try these supplements I've been talking about, the creatine gummies, flavored creatine. I got Fruit Punch over here. Pulse, which is my pre-workout of choice. I use the non-stim, of course, because I don't need the extra caffeine. Excess caffeine can weaken your bones. We don't need that shit. Oh, my God. And like I was talking about earlier, of course, we have the Patreon, which has been ongoing for about 5 years. I've had people in there for 5 years, some 2 years, some 1 year, some 1 day, some 1 week, some 1 month, doesn't matter. I get a lot of people going and coming and going, but I've had consistent fan base in there, allowing us to do things like this. And the support is really appreciated. Patreon.com/Kolbstrong. $10 a month to watch what I do in the gym, all the behind-the-scenes stuff to the big benches that come out on Instagram. So that's Legion. That's we got the Kolbstrong Scholarship. We got Patreon. We got the F8customs.com. A lot of good shit is coming out this year. We're always innovating. We got a lot of cool stuff going on with F8 Customs. A lot of new products coming out. A lot of new ideas we're pitching around. Cool things coming to the website very, very shortly. We're going to be traveling quite a bit. Our next show that we're going to have an F8 Customs booth is going to be the SPF Nationals down there in Nashville the last weekend in May. Okay. Now we're going to be there for both days. We're going to have a big booth with product. I'll be there. I believe Denise will be there as well. And it's going to be a good time. Katie will be there with me. So we'll be there. We compete the very next weekend. And we're going to be Strength Expo down in Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay. That's the end of June. We're going to be down there, Little Rock, for a 2-day event. I'll be hosting a bench seminar down there as well, and having a booth right by the front doors with Anderson Powerlifting too. That's going to be a good time. We're going to be traveling quite a bit, so hopefully we'll be in an area that you are in, and we can meet in person. And Jason says, I will say the Legion supplements are legit, so good. Dewey doesn't lead you astray. I appreciate that, Jason. He said, Amber got me in her briefs. They were really good. No shit. Awesome, dude. Well, keep the videos coming. I like seeing you guys pop up on Instagram. I like seeing that shit. Good to see you guys. And we'll try to make it down to the FTS one of these weekends. It's just really crunch time with the meet coming up and everything else. Once the meet's over, we'll be a little more lax, and we can travel from our usual spot a little more often. You guys can come up to Rob's anytime you want to, just so you know. But all right, that should do it for tonight, guys. It's been a good talking to you. My hour, I've gone over my hour, so we'll stop right there. Please join me next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Benching and Bullshitting. We are 9 episodes away from being double digits. Must be late, past my bedtime. Triple digits. Episode 100 is coming up in no less than 9 episodes. It's sad I fit in hers. No, it's not sad. There's different body types. We're all different. It's all relative. Cool, guys. It's been a great night talking to you. So we'll catch you next week for Benching and Bullshitting, episode 92. Have a good night. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.